It's acres and move makers. It's acres and move makers. I deal with land flippers, acres and move makers, room shakers, big boys with huge paper, the newspapers. You can run but can't escape us. We winning with these flash green when they act racist. Success is so contagious. Let's go. It's acres and move makers.
All right, we got some questions for you guys. First question. Introduce yourselves to everybody and let everybody know how you discovered the Acre Boyzz. 2 minutes each. Stephen, go ahead.
I'm probably going to be less than 2 minutes. Oh, that's for you. My bad. You said, introduce ourselves. So my name is Stephanie, originally from Houston, Texas, but I've been living out in Brooklyn, New York. Yes, since 2015. And I'm a nurse currently. So I think there's another nurse in here somewhere. Hey. And I discovered the Acre Boyzz actually through Instagram, through Cheat Code. Cheat Code, I don't know if some of y'all know Cheat Code, but that's it's like trading stocks and stuff, and it's also, essentially by our people, for our people. And so through Cheat Code, I discovered Ray and Jay, Acre Boyzz, and as far as real estate, I had no experience whatsoever. I just knew, like, you get a job, you make some money, you buy a house. I didn't know anything about real estate. But I was interested in land because I don't have to do anything with that. And that's never a space I've never thought about land. I look at land, I don't think anything about it. But these days, I think about land. Empty space looks so different to me for so many reasons. But anyway, I met them through Cheat Code, through Instagram. So, yeah. Oh, you already have a mic.
My name is Courtney Wynn. I came across Ray and Jay through the Cheat Code that she's talking about. They had an in-person event in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was a part of this group called the BWO, and the BWO, I think they invited the Acre Boyzz to speak, so I got a chance to witness what they were presenting. I felt it in my stomach that, it was a move for me. At the time, I was contemplating on doing some other stuff, going down some other avenues. But once I heard the information that the Acre Boyzz had presented, it just felt right. So I think a couple weeks after that, I hopped inside the course and been rocking with them ever since.
Yes. My name is Seiko Williams. How y'all feeling today? That's great. Love it. So I heard about the Acre Boyzz through a podcast. I can't remember whose it was, to be honest. I've always been big on trying to learn new things and develop new ways of making income. So I've heard about them through this podcast, and then I did more research on them. I followed them on Instagram, and eventually purchased the course, and just been rocking with them since. What was the other side of the question?
No, that was pretty much it.
That was pretty much it.
Round of applause.
Got it.
Round of applause. You can do better than that. A round of applause for yourselves too, man. Yeah, I know there's a gentleman now. He came from Baltimore. Who's from Arkansas? Like, man. Woo, Acre Boyzz. That's what's up, man. Congratulations. Also, so here's my question. Why did you guys get into this whole flipping land? I know she spoke about it, but like, why? Like, why land? Because, everyone wants to get into real estate, but land is like this new up and coming, part of real estate. But why?
There we go. For me, I think it was more of, I was just at a point in my life where I was about to go down one avenue. I was about to start trying to get into like the dispatching. That's what I was about to do. I was about to start trying to do dispatching. Knew that wasn't my passion at all, but I was just at a point where I got to do something else other than what I'm doing. When I heard the information, like I said, I just had a gut feeling. I've never heard about them speaking about real estate the way they did, but it was something about, buying low and selling high. It just made sense to me. So like I said, I just had that feeling that this was what I needed to do. And once I made the decision, like that gut feeling in my stomach, it went away. So I knew that I had made the right decision. So that was for me, just that gut feeling of knowing, this is the space for me.
Mine were similar to Stephanie's. It's always been a well-known thing that wealth, or one of the avenues of creating wealth, is through real estate. So I was considering doing the whole wholesaling and buying, flipping, and there's a bunch of different ways you can, go through real estate. But when I came across the land space, a lot of those problems or issues that could arise just it's not there. You don't have to worry about contractors and all those other things that come across. You don't have to be a landlord if you're not supposed to be a landlord. You know what I mean? So it was an opportunity where the numbers made sense, and if the numbers make sense, then I'm in it. Let's do it.
Nice. Question for all of you guys: what's the training been like in the community that's been provided by the Acre Boyzz?
The training has really been excellent, and I say that to say, when I first joined the group, it was back in January of 2023, so it's been about a year and a half now, and we would have maybe 3 or 4 people in the weekly trainings, and the weekly trainings are with Ray and Jay, so you get that one-on-one, hands-on kind of thing. Compared to other groups that are 100 plus or whatever, and you don't actually get that real experience and get all your questions answered. And also they had, the master course where you could really watch the videos, read everything play by play, and then come to the weekly trainings with your questions and have everything answered. They didn't hold back any information. Everything they knew, they were very upfront and honest and just this is it. So for me, it was if I do exactly what they do, I'll be all right. Mm-hmm. And they made the information so easy to understand. And it was just a template. It's a template. You follow the template, you're going to be all right.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I agree.
So this is a question for Stephanie again. And I know a lot of people out here, they want to get into real estate, but they're just trying to balance life, period. How do you, well, I guess for everyone, how do you guys balance life? And there's Zoom calls, you have children, you have life, period. How do you guys balance that?
I say, if it's something you want to do, you'll make time for it. But this is not something that's overly time consuming. Even just the course itself, you can complete the course in a week or 2 and be investing, in the following week. So this is not something that's heavily time consuming. So it is, for me, it's easy to fit inside my schedule. I have a special needs child as well. So, I feel like I work a full-time job. I have a special needs child, but I have still found time to cultivate this business. So, I think it's very doable.
Finding balance for me personally, when I set goals, it doesn't matter if I'm unbalanced or balanced. I'm just working towards it. However long it takes, whatever the case, I may slip, fall, whatever, but just keep going. You don't have to be balanced the entire time. So that's my
yeah. What states, counties did you focus on flipping land and or purchase tax deeds, and why? Well, I know where you. Okay. So we interviewed Stephanie actually on a podcast, which we're going to be releasing soon. But go ahead, tell them a little bit more.
Okay, so don't do what I did, actually. Do everything else that they're about to say. But the first county I hit was Suffolk County, New York. And that was my biggest deal. That was my $100K deal. And I hit that county because, to me, the numbers looked good, right? I knew it was a busy area just a little bit, but I wanted to it was kind of I'm going to go all in or not kind of thing. I threw 3,000 pieces of mail out, and I was like, let me see what happens with this. So don't do that, but I think doing your research on the population, if it's far enough for, from the main city, all of that. So doing your research first, and maybe I'm in New York, so I think part of it too was me wanting to start a little bit closer to home in the case that maybe I did want to go in person and maybe see the land or something, or actually have a better understanding of what I'm dealing with. But I would say you could start with where you're at, and then go from there. And so now I'm playing more in Michigan, and Michigan came about from the auctions that they taught us. So that's another part of this training is you can do tax deeds, you can do auctions, and there are a lot of really good deals for tax deeds coming out of Michigan. So I was like, well, what if I threw some mail out in Michigan? And so I've been in Michigan for a minute because I've gotten some pretty good deals out of there. So it just depends. And I think it's, different for everybody, but that's how I targeted my areas.
I think the first state I targeted was North Carolina. And Ray and Jay, they kind of warned that North Carolina was a hotbed, and I did see that once I started getting some deals in. I think I had about 2 or 3 deals that came in that had some probate issues, so we didn't get to go through with them. But just continued to research, follow the steps that they had gave us out about how to find the right areas concerning, days on market, what else? Sold to for sale ratios, just following basically the template of the program, and it'll pretty much show you how to pick an area. So I finally settled down in Minnesota, been playing there a while, got about 3 deals in Minnesota. So now I'm just thinking of where to go next, doing some research on where to go next.
I started with tax deeds first. So that was my let me see how the whole thing works, test the waters real quick. I bought my first 4 properties in Michigan at an auction. And since then I've still been doing the whole tax deed investing, but now just recently, within say a month and a half, 2 months ago, I sent out my first actual campaign to 2 counties actually. One in Tennessee and another here in Georgia, actually, Gilmer County in Georgia. Why those counties? Because I looked it up in using the format that they give, and the numbers made sense. Things were moving in those markets, and I said, okay, let's run it, see what happens. So, yeah.
So you guys never visited like these lands at all? Like never been to North Carolina?
No.
Michigan?
Not one.
No.
Sight unseen.
So give us some hard numbers here, because that's what I really want to know about. Let's talk about, okay, you guys got how much? Like talk to us about some success stories. Like some of these properties, are you did you buy, did you flip them? Are you holding it to make your own property? Are you looking to build a community? Like what do you want to do with these communities and these deals that you guys have made, and how much?
Okay, well, you want to?
Well, we know how much
we know Stephanie.
All right, fine. I'll talk about it. All right. So the Suffolk, New York deal, that one was a 1.5 acre. And I was able to I sent out an offer. I think I sent it for I might have sent it for like a little bit lower initially, maybe like 50, 55 or something. But we ended up settling on $60K for it. And I had reached out to a realtor out in that area about pricing and stuff, and he priced it, I think initially between 180 to 240, something like that. That's the one that we sold for 200. So it was about for 60, sell for 200. So that was 140K sort of gross profit from that. And so that was a quick flip. And I say quick to say it went on market. And then within like 4 or 5 days, we already had a couple offers on it, and that 200K came within those days. But it took some time just because of all the legalities out there. So that's another reason not to play in a hotbed county, is because you're gonna have to deal with a lot more stuff. But there are a couple of lots in Michigan that I purchased just to keep for now, and it's like 5K or smaller lots, but it's maybe a little bit more strategic as far as what they also teach is where you buy, also figure out like what's to come, right? You don't want to get to a place too hot, but if it's something you want to hold on to, you want to get in an area that you can foresee growing and developing in future. So that's like a little bit of a plan for me with some of the smaller lots. So I do both. I'll do the wholesale flipping from direct to owner. I'll do some auction lots, and I'll keep, little parcels here and there.
Gotcha.
Acre Boyzz, did she send you like a thank you cat, like a check? No?
And,
okay.
and this was
I got y'all. You said 10 and a half and 11, right? Okay. It's still in the works. Just so you know how special it is. All right? Because, good things take a minute sometimes.
you didn't have these initial funds, right?
Oh, no. So, no, I did not have $60,000 just sitting there. And what happened was I reached out to them and I said, hey, I have this deal. I think it's a great deal. They did a whole training about it essentially, and we looked it over. All the facts checked out, this, that, and the third. So we made sure it was good to go, and they had an investor ready for us. So we went ahead and an investor essentially funded the deal through the Acre Boyzz for me, and so we were able to split the profits in the end. Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful.
All right. So I've done a handful of deals. My biggest deal was my first deal. It was a buy for, goodness, I almost forgot how much we bought it for. $19,500. This was a lot in, I believe, Todd County, Minnesota. We bought it for $19,500. We listed it for $45,000. In less than a week, I had a buyer on that lot for $40,000 cash. So, Rand J, they also found me an investor to put up the $19,000. We sold it at 40. He got his investment back, and we split the rest of the profits. So, yeah.
That's what's up. Yo, Welby and Q right now, they're like, they itching.
Yeah, Q was like,
yo.
bro. Yeah. And you right here in Long Island, bro.
I see him in his fiance in Shake Shop every day.
That's what's up.
Oh, well, we got a question, of course.
We got real quick. So let's inside of our program, we offer what we have. It's called deal funding. We teach you how to go out and find deals. You don't have to have money to buy the deals. Once you locate the deals, that's why it's important to get the education first, because once you become a professional deal funder, as you see in this room alone, there's people that's willing to put their money up behind you. There's going to be more money than there's actually deals all the time. But you have to get the education so you will know what to bring to the table. If you don't have anything to bring to the table, you can't get no money, you can't eat. So find something that's valuable, bring it to the table. You got 3 investors right here. You also have investors on this side. I'm not pointing at anybody, but you have investors on this side that's looking to put their money to use. Now, when we came in this game, we were looking to do, the name of the game for the Acre Boyzz is what we call stacking deals. It's not about a one deal situation for us. It's about how many deals we can do in a calendar month. So we teach them to try and do as many deals as they can. How she had a net, Welby, not a gross. How she had a net of 100,000 is because she had 3 deals closed in 1 month. Not one. She had 3 deals closed in 1 month. Out of those 3 deals, she didn't use any of her money. So when we came into this space, 1 second, Latoya. When we came into this space, you're like, man, I'm rolling now. When we came into this space, right? We wanted to keep our working capital just working. We didn't want to use our money that we had accumulated. And if you're doing the business on a high scale and effectively, you're going to run out of money. If you're doing it correctly, your money will evaporate quick once it's starting to be spread across 5 and 6 and 7 deals. So we learned that because we never know when these deals are going to close. We've closed them as fast as 3 days, and sometimes it took us 3 and 4 months. So if it takes you 3 and 4 months to get these to the finish line, and if you have your money spread across 6 or 7 deals, you get tight, and you get tight really quick. So we started reaching out to investors that have the money, plenty of money. We have endless money to spend. We need to put it to use. We won't ever run out of the money because it's a lot of money that we have
access to. Just in this room, it's a lot of money that we have access to. We whipped up money from anywhere from denominations from $20,000 to $3 million. We got $3 million in less than a week. So if you bring a valuable deal to the table, the money will be there waiting for you. And I don't want to spend up too much time because I don't want to take the light away from them. But that is how they did it.
Last thing, y'all, keep in mind, funding that we offer is no credit check. None. You can come in as long as you understand how to find an undervalued asset. I don't care if your credit score is 300, should be 7, 8, whatever it is. But the value is in the equity inside of the deal, not in your personal credit score. So that's how we solidify ourselves on our end based off of the equity. So, yeah.
And before I give it back, because my point that I was making was that most of our investors, not most, all of our investors that we use, none of them look like us. So it's.
You could just that's what I was like when you said that, because I figured that. Right. I was like, I'm like, I bet you somebody else. They're all the other way. Yeah, all of them.
But that is the importance of putting this message out there so we can bring the money back to our community. Because one thing I tell you about our investors, they love us, but it's never them bringing us anything. It's always us bringing them a deal.
I'm just saying, what's the return? Because I've got money just sitting. I didn't know. I didn't know.
The returns are typically 25%.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, you don't even come to the.
This is a hot panel right here. Hot topic. Hot panel. Rob, you got the next one. Oh, no. Let's hear your testimony. We want to hear your numbers.
Yeah.
So my approach was a little different. I've just been buying. If I see the deals that make sense, I'm just buying and just building equity. Whenever I decide I need to liquidate for whatever reason, then I'll do so. But if I see an undervalued deal, if I see an undervalued opportunity, I'm buying it. When I need to sell it, I will. And yeah, that's pretty much that.
Stop.
So I'm treating it like
I understand y'all want to speak modestly, but
Talk
put a little spice on it. Say what it is.
Keep it real. That's what we're here for.
It's really now's the time to really stick your chest out and say, what have I done? Because these are not light things. I don't want them to just say this stuff like this is light things. Seiko owns in less than 20 months. How many properties do you own in 20 months?
on my 21st property
He's
right
on his
now.
21st property in less than. These are not light things.
And after this training, after this $250 training, it might be pushing towards 30 or 40 or so. Yeah. But yeah, that's my thing as of right now. Is I'm purchasing properties and accumulating equity, and that's where I'm at in my journey for right now. Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob.
And the thing is too, like from my understanding from wholesaling, it's similar to wholesaling. Like people get this misunderstanding of, properties are just going to pop up because I just Googled, in my area. But these guys are, you're out there, you're researching, and it's a full-time job, on top of your full-time job.
Speak.
What I do?
We gotta clear some things up. Because people throw that wholesaling thing out there. We are not wholesalers. We don't do wholesalers. The major difference in between what we do and wholesalers don't have the money. We have the money. Once we see it and we want to buy it, we buy it. We don't say, let me find an end buyer and then we'll get it. No, if we see it and we want it, we buy it. And we own it. That's the major difference between what we do and what wholesalers are. So we're not wholesalers.
You're not.
Speaking of question, are you guys doing this full time?
That's what I was just about to say.
Are you guys doing this? Are you guys doing this? Like, what's the end goal for what you guys? Is this just like extra cash for you guys, or you want to do this full time to free up, so you guys can do other things in life?
Yes, for me, that's definitely the goal. To build up, the capital to leave my 9-to-5 job and do this full time, to invest into, further ventures like our guest speakers was telling us about today.
One of my goals is to have some of this land eventually built into where I'm making monthly income from it. So whether it's RV parks or eventually rental opportunity, rental income, then Airbnbs, whatever the case may be. So in time, it will become that.
And for me, it's just kind of recycling it back into the business, putting more mail out, getting more deals. But also eventually, I want to just have my own kind of like commune to some extent. And now that I know how to find the land, it's just a matter of where I want to be in the future. So it's almost like, I guess it's a long-term retirement plan, but I'm going to start now so that, equity is another part of this for me as well. So eventually I'm also going to purchase my own properties, more of them, and hold on to them for that reason.
Nice. I applaud y'all, man.
That's what's up.
Doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna open up for questions in a little bit. I'm pretty sure everybody here has joined or is part of the community, but we're shooting a live podcast right now. So we are. For the audience that's watching or who will be watching this, if they're on the fence of joining this community, let them know why they should be a part of this community.
I would say first, because it's a ground floor opportunity. It's not so saturated yet. You can still come in, early and make great money. I would also say because it's non-traditional, I think that that's a very great point to jump into something that not everybody is doing. That's doing something that you don't see a lot of people doing, but that you can come in, create your own lane and be super successful in it. I would say that's definitely reasons enough to jump in. Also because the support is here. It's a great community of people, like-minded individuals. And I just think it'll be a great place for anybody who wants to get started inside of the land business to get started at.
And to your point there, Court, I think it's also really important that we emphasize community. And I think that was, one of the biggest reasons why I joined this, because there's other real estate, you can, figure out how to do this and the third from other groups. But for me, it was really important that we put money back into community for us, because there's like Ray said, 1%, 2%, 3% of us that is represented in the land space. And I want to see those numbers grow. And so within our community too, I think like-minded people, we also have people within the community that will invest in deals with you. And that's bringing the money right back to us. And we have the investors club too, where within Land and Legacy, some of us, we chipped in to do deals together as a group. So you get that one-on-one training, you get the weekly trainings, you get that real kind of personal experience. And it's not just you a single dot out of a whole sea of people. But now is the best time to join, because like I said, when I first started, it was like 2 to 3 of us in the Zoom calls with Ray and Jay, me, Court, and like 2 other people, for real. And now it's like 30, sometimes 40 people in the Zoom calls. So it's only going to get bigger. The land space is only going to grow. And I think if you're going to do it sooner rather than later, because later is too late, I don't know. But yeah, there's no reason. You hear the numbers. This is possible. I'm just a regular person. Everybody's special, but y'all know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And I just took the information and I applied it. And here I am today, sitting before you, telling you about how I made $100,000 last month. And I can prove all of that to you. So if I'm not proof enough, if Court or Seiko, if we're not proof enough, we don't know what else is going to help you with that. But we're here to say, these guys did it. They've been doing it for 8 years. It made sense to me. You buy low, sell high. I understand that concept. And I just put the education and the information to work. And here I am today. I didn't know I was going to be here a year and a half later. I really did not know. I thought to myself, I'll be lucky if I make like 5K, 10K. 100, I never thought in my life, but here I am actually like speaking on it, so that's all I can say.
Seiko, how about yourself?
I'd say if you are on the fence about joining or just curious about the space as a whole, speaking from my past experience, a year ago today, I owned 0 properties. I knew nothing about the land space at all. And like I said, I now own over 20 properties. But one of the biggest one of the biggest things for me personally was I want to buy my mom a house, right? That's like kind of, I guess, everybody a universal goal. And this year, my mom's birthday was April 12th. I bought my mom a piece of land. And yeah, so first step, yeah. But that was because of the education that I got from this course, and it was because of the mentorship that I received from these guys. So yeah, just, if you're curious about the space, like, this is a great place to take advantage of that. Yeah.
Do we have time for a couple questions, Ray J?
Yes, sir.
All right, questions?
Yes, sir. How do you guys maintain the properties as far as like tax and things like that y'all just accumulating all of these properties like regular people? How do y'all pay taxes and everything on all these properties that y'all?
They don't hold long enough.
Yeah, that's
He's maintaining.
So me personally, you're in touch with the county. You just pay the taxes. It's not really a complicated thing. And with land, the taxes aren't that much. It's a couple of $100 maybe. For the years. It's not a big thing. But, yeah. You've probably spent more eating out than. I've purchased a lot for as low as $500. I've purchased a lot for the maximum I've paid for a lot was about $2,000. I purchased an acre of property for $1,200 in the Poconos. Mm-hmm. So it varies by county, but yeah.
Back there.
The property that you buy, are they inside the city or outside the city? Inside the what was that? Typically within city limits. If it depends on where you're going though. If you're going the tax deed route, usually they're within the city limits. If you're going direct to owner, then they could range anywhere outside. Anywhere outside or inside the city. Are you doing, if it is outside the city limits, are you doing soil testing to make sure like it's a perk test or something? If you plan on building on it, then yeah. Before you buy it, like you test it to make sure it's suitable for septic if you don't have like sewer and stuff like that? No, you don't typically do it. You have the option to. You can contact the county and see what information you can pull from them. But a perk test, I typically don't do a perk test before purchasing a property. No.
Let me help.
Gentleman, right?
Let me be exact. I can put accurate information out. Perk test, as it pertains to perk test, it depends on the county that you're playing in. Not every county requires a perk test for a lot to be buildable. If you're playing in the county and they require that, we don't go out and spend the money, but we can check county records to see if a perk test is on file. That's why in the facts that we teach, we say look to what's adjacent, right? So if you look to what's adjacent, if a house is to the left and a house is to the right and there's a vacant lot in the middle, that says to us there's a 95% chance that that same land will pass the test and will be suitable for septic. Because why? The house to the left has figured it out. The house to the right has figured it out. And what's the chances of the one slab dab in the middle not being suitable, or the soil, something being wrong with that soil? So that's why the facts are important.
Mm-hmm.
A perk test is when you
percolation.
test the soil to make sure it's suitable for a septic system.
Gentleman right here in the green. Right here. Yep.
Yep. Seiko. Pleasure.
I'm trying to figure out, you said they're in the city limits, are they rural area or do they have like what you said, or like you said, like their houses around them, I think,
The lots that I own, yeah, they have neighbors around them. Yeah. They're usually, a lot of them are in communities. Some of them are in subdivisions. So they typically are residential. All of them are residential. They're zoned for residential. I don't know any in Georgia right now. I have mailers out in Georgia, so I will soon. But but as of right now, no, I don't own any in Georgia.
You had a question? Yeah.
So who pays for the quiet title?
It's a third. If you want a quiet title, it's a third party company.
Oh, because that doesn't come out of your company?
It's optional. If you want to sell it as a warranty deed, you have the option. If you want to, then you have to pay that third party company to quiet title it. But you can sell it as a quick claim deed as you receive it.
I have a question. What was like one of the most difficult land you ever purchased?
I gotta think about
Me,
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so Suffolk County was difficult because there was a lot of paperwork, there was a lot of legality stuff we had to, just hoops you have to jump through that other states you don't necessarily have to jump through. That's why I'm advising if you start out, don't start out in a county like that. Don't play in a county like that. Definitely do your research and be comfortable where you're going to play at, right? So I was willing to hang on as long as possible because, I mean, you hear the numbers. So to me, that was worth that wait, worth however long it would take. We still hit bumps in the road that we weren't expecting, but I mean, they were there along the way, all the way through. So I think for me, as far as difficulty with that process, it was just all the waiting that I had to do and all the paperwork and the back and forths that it had to take to get it closed out. But, it was good from start to finish. It was just the process of it. But I haven't had any difficult issues with like land itself. But we talk about like difficult types of land and stuff that might come up in our trainings all the time. So we're all very much aware of some of those issues. And then we'll look out for that whenever we check the facts to say, okay, well, this, we learned this from training and this from training. And so it can help you avoid certain situations or avoid certain tax deeds or auctions or certain pieces of land that is in a way faulty and maybe you wouldn't have known otherwise, so issues do come up, but that's why it's good that you get the one-on-one training so you can figure out what are these types of issues I could come across and how I can avoid them or just, deal with it however it comes by. So
I haven't had any difficulties, honestly.
Personally, you got almost 30 properties.
Not too complicated.
Yeah, it's not really complicated. I think maybe one of the only issues I might have ran into, that probate stuff. A lady wanting to agree to sell, but when you go to do the research and stuff, her name wasn't on the deed. Her husband died. He didn't, leave it in a will, that kind of stuff. So that's about the most difficult thing I've run into, issues like that.
One last question over here.
Yeah, the trainings and discussion video calls that you guys have, what times are they? Are they convenient? Are they recorded?
They're at 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, and yes, they're recorded.
Nice.
And we also have a mindset class on Tuesdays that Jay does. He'll come in and we go over mindset. On Sundays, I host an accountability call as well.
Nice. Well, this segment has definitely been informational. We appreciate you guys for sharing your stories with us. We're going to be releasing this. We're shooting the podcast, but we're going to be releasing this podcast within our community that we just recently launched. Q doesn't know, but he's going to be in our community. Welby doesn't know, but he's going to be in our community too that we just launched. Latoya doesn't know, but she's going to be in our community too. Applause.
Round of applause, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
All right.